So last week we began working with the theme of spiritual healing. The message was all about empathy, the ability to offer what HeartMath calls true care to someone without taking on their pain. We also talked about the importance of giving ourselves true care, filling our own well first, sort of the way the airline attendant reminds us to put on our own oxygen mask before trying to help another do so. This week's theme is appreciation. So let's begin with a definition. Appreciation is a state of mind or consciousness in which we savor the beauty of life and spontaneously express gratitude. Sounds pretty simple, nothing complicated there. Except that much of the time we may not even be present to the beauty of life. We can be so preoccupied, so concerned with getting our preferences met, we can't even see the good that's right in front of us. It's sort of like we've written a script for our lives and can only feel happy when the play unfolds according to our plan. We have made up our minds what life ought to be like, what we deserve out of life, and nothing else is acceptable. The indigenous people of the rainforest describe this condition with a story about how to capture a monkey to roast for dinner. All one has to do, they say, is set a small bowl of rice out and fasten it to the ground, and then conceal oneself in the dense undergrowth and quietly wait. Monkeys are drawn to the smell of the sweet rice. They dip their human-like hands into the bowl and soon discover something quite upsetting. They cannot withdraw their hand from the bowl while they have a fist full of rice. Some of the monkeys, hearing the natives moving out of their hiding places, immediately turn loose of the rice, withdraw their hand from the bowl, and take off. These monkeys nearly always escape. But other monkeys refuse to open their fists or let go of the rice. Instead of having dinner, they end up being dinner. Yes, most of us, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, are like those monkeys with closed fists. We want rice, we deserve rice, and by God, we're not letting go until we get rice. We know rice is the only thing that can make us happy, and so we're obsessively focused on rice, oblivious to anything else that may be going on around us. Spiritual health is exactly the opposite of this. Perhaps a fine definition of wholeness would be the ability to live fully in the present moment. Spiritually awake, we are aware of changing circumstances. As flexible as a young tree swaying in the wind, we are both willing and able to adjust our plans as conditions change. When we dance with life in this way, appreciation is natural and spontaneous because we are not being blinded by our script. On the other hand, rigid resistance leads to poor health, all kinds of poor health. If it is chronic, we could very well find ourselves in the same precarious position as one of those stubborn monkeys. Life feels dangerous, and we feel stress because it seems to us that things are going all wrong. I remember the day I became acutely aware of my tendency toward this sort of blindness. It was springtime in Greensboro, and I was driving north on Route 21 on my way to church for a board meeting. Now, Route 421 is a beautiful highway. It's wide and safe. And in the spring, it is a profusion of color. On both sides and down the median are crepe myrtles loaded with red and pink, with white and pink blossoms, and there are yellow daylilies and beautiful green ferns and hundreds of brilliant red knockout roses. That particular day, my mind was abuzz, full of thoughts about the meeting ahead, plans for the church gathering that was going to happen at my house the following week, and ideas for the Sunday message. I was quite literally lost in thought. Ever been there? But then, for some reason, call it grace, I suddenly came to. My mind dropped into the present moment, causing my eyes and heart to pop open. Beauty and abundance spontaneously broke through my distraction and entered my consciousness. And the effect was nearly overwhelming. Even remembering it now, I feel tears the way I did then. Now I'm one who appreciates the beauty of nature like you are. And I'm fully aware that it's always available. Like you, I made countless trips to gardens and beaches and art galleries. But right there, along the highway, 3 minutes from my home, wow, I hadn't gone seeking it. It was right in front of me all the time. And now today, it's literally in my own backyard. Everything is blooming. And my living room window displays the profusion like the most beautiful painting in the gallery. And the thing is, I'm awake. And so I stand this morning on my deck and I let it wash over with me and melt away any concerns I'm holding and fill me with the joy of simply being alive. If your life is loaded down in some way, it probably is, with work, relationship issues, resentments, fears, sadness. If it is, your life force is draining away. Recently, I read that a 50-year-old man who is 50 pounds overweight and who smokes 2 packs of cigarettes every day has a longer life expectancy than a slim, non-smoking 50-year-old woman who lives day in and day out in a state of anxiety or depression. Startling, isn't it? But there's good news. Appreciation is a prescription that can actually save your life, both figuratively and literally. The world we live in is full of dense energy, but it is also full of abundance and incredible beauty. So what will you focus on today? I know your spouse or partner has many irritating personality traits, physical imperfections, and a few character flaws as well. But he or she is also heartbreakingly beautiful. So, what will you focus on today? You have many irritating personality traits, physical imperfections, and a few character flaws yourself. But you are also brilliant, sweet, generous, and unique. So what will you focus on today? Okay, I know your bank account is a little short of the bills, but it also reflects a steady flow of income, sometimes from who knows where. What will you focus on today? Jesus, in a famous parable, taught us to turn the other cheek. The literal translation would lead us to believe we're supposed to be passive in the face of an attack. But this is not what the parable means. What it really means is that when the only thing we can see is pain and difficulty, we need to turn our eyes in a new direction. The promise is that if we're willing to view the situation from a higher consciousness and a broader perspective, we will be blessed by it. Living from here, we experience what Jesus called the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is within you, he said. In other words, happiness comes from how we see rather than what we see. Gratitude is both cause and effect. With an attitude of gratitude, we are able to see and savor beauty and abundance. Yes, it is a gift of grace, but you and I have a co-creative part to play. Pausing to notice and breathe in the beauty right in front of our eyes deepens our well of gratitude. And pushing the pause button is something only we can do. We're living in a technological whirlwind. The last 50 years have yielded mind-boggling discoveries and advances, but you know how some drugs with amazing healing properties also have painful side effects? Listening to those pharmaceutical commercials, I often think I'd rather have the illness than the cure. Well, a terrible side effect of growing up in a techno-eccentric world is the pervasive, insidious idea that a person is worthy to the extent that he or she is productive and efficient. This is a description of a well-oiled machine, but not a human being. Of course, we would not call ourselves machines. But how often do we treat ourselves as if we were? Our conditioning has caused us to confuse our identity with what we do and what we accomplish. And from this perspective, life is very dangerous indeed. A business failure means we're a failure. A mistake means we're stupid. Taking time to savor and enjoy life means we might not get as much work done. And if we don't get much done, we've committed the ultimate sin of our culture. We've wasted time. In a world of screens, phone screens, computer screens, TV screens, this is where we live. We look at our loved ones' pictures and posts on Facebook, and it's nice, but it has nothing whatsoever to do with being with them in person. We text instead of calling. Me too, but sorry, it's just not the same. We take courses online, and it's very convenient, but it bears no resemblance at all to the dynamic exchange found in a classroom full of flesh and blood people. John and Marissa, Kaylee and John are leaving us today. Some in this techno world might say, oh, that's okay. We'll find other young people to join us. We'll find other musicians and other darling children. Oh dear. But then they won't be John or Marissa or Kaylee or John, will they? I hope you guys know how much we appreciate you, who you are, and all you've meant. Today we're celebrating all that we've shared with one another. As somebody in the congregation said to me recently, a lot of life has been lived in the past 5 or 6 years. Just think of all the changes in your lives and our lives and the life of this church community. We are truly going to miss you. No one can take your places in our hearts. But your imprint is on this church. Week after week, you have been kind, patient, and loving. You have kept your promises, played inspiring music, and given your best. We've worked side by side to build this church community. Together, we've both struggled and thrived. But as you go, know this. You are leaving a legacy of sweet memories, beauty, and high consciousness behind you. This community would not be what it is today if you had not been here, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Absolutely. As for the rest of us, well, we're paying it forward. You have learned and grown and deepened during your time with us, and so you will bless your new neighbors and employers and co-workers with all of that. We release you and send you on your way to be a blessing. May you continue to thrive and serve in your new place, hopefully in your new Unity Church. There's a neat one in Savannah, led by a great minister and accomplished musician, Reverend Dale Worley. Just a little plug there. To many of us, John and Marissa are young'uns.
Yeah.
Some in this room have reached the stage in life euphemistically called retirement, which seems to look very different for different people. For some, it's kind of a full stop after many run years. Others are working as hard as ever, just not getting paid for it. Others are working extremely hard at playing. They make me tired just watching them. Some are now finding time they didn't have before to learn and grow and deepen through classes and spiritual practices. And some are finding a lovely balance of it all at a pace that allows time to enjoy the beach and the blessings of family and friends. It really is all about seeing what is right in front of us. The eye is the lamp of the body, Jesus said. If your eye is sound, your whole body will be full of life. Oh, how true is that? To see rightly is to see a world of unlimited possibility and awesome beauty. As we practice pausing and appreciating, we become incredibly sound of eye until we're able to perceive that which is real and pristine, alive, and awesome. The Apostle Paul, in a letter to the Philippians, counseled, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, whatever is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things, and the God of peace will be with you." Wow. These things are not so often demonstrated in today's world, are they? The loudest voices of our society do not speak of truth, nobility, right action, admiration, excellence, or praise, do they? Is it really okay to ignore those voices? To concern ourselves with only our own small sphere of influence? To pay attention only to what is beautiful? This is a question I hold in my heart. As I often do, I turn to a poet to help me out. Here are the words of Rainier Maria Rilke. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books that have been written in a very foreign tongue. Do not seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. And perhaps you will then gradually, without even noticing it, live along some distant day into the answers. Today I choose to let go of my questions the best I can. It certainly is the kindest thing I could do for myself, don't you agree? If I were to take Paul's advice, life would certainly feel worth living, and every day would be a precious gift. The search for beauty and goodness does seem like a worthwhile endeavor, don't you think? Whether my life should last for another day, or a month, or a year, or a decade, or longer, I sure don't want to miss the natural splendor and heart-stopping beauty all around us all. Do you? I want to savor the richness and simply let it be enough to radiate out the joy that it brings. Surely appreciating the beautiful, noble, good, and admirable will enhance the health and well-being of our souls and spirits. We sure do hear a lot today about nutritious eating. perhaps it's just as essential to feed our souls with organically grown food. And so, starting today, let's begin the practice of savoring and celebrating life in each other. Let's know together, right here and right now, that every man, woman, and child on this earth is beautiful beyond belief. And if they don't look that way to us at any given moment, the need is for us to uncloud our eye. Let's leave this place today with eyes open and hearts awake to the beauty that is always in front of our faces. You know, problems, pain, mistake, lies, failure, scary news, so what? In reality, and that's a capital R reality, they are nothing. You know how you can tell? Because when you look into your loved one's eyes or smell a rose in your garden, they are instantly gone. You can't see them, you can't feel them. The moment you look beyond them, they disappear from your radar screen. So let's make a pact. I'll help you if you'll help me. To look closely at the world around us, look deeply into ourselves, and pause and breathe and listen for that quick little intake of breath that comes when the fog lifts and we can see what is really there, right close by. We may walk around with tears of gratitude in our eyes most of the time, but I say that's okay. Let's savor the tears too. Let's call them badges of wholeness. And finally, I leave you with this from our beloved Rumi. I was dead, then alive, weeping, then laughing. The power of love came into me, and I became fierce like a lion, then tender like the evening star. Then new events came and scared me, and I wanted to run, but something said to me, don't move. A sublime generosity is coming towards you. Love said, stay with me. And I said, I will, and became a fountain in the sun's light. God bless you all.
Go wrong, it's natural to wonder, what celestial rule did I break? When things go right, it's logical to ponder, what of credit can I take? But the truth is so much easier. I don't need a master plan. I can live here in this moment, 'cause my life is in good hands. I don't need to know where the wind blows, 'cause God future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. your bones, 'cause God knows I need never know how pain ends, how my heart mends. I can't just let go, 'cause God knows.
So now, for our meditation, let's intentionally generate the power of appreciation. First, to find a comfortable position. Take a deep cleansing breath and another. Pause for a count of 4 before you exhale. Now, using your imagination, picture your physical heart. Imagine that you can see it beating, pumping vital fluids through your veins, carrying life-giving oxygen to the cells of your body. Let's just sit for a moment with attention on the heart. Next, call to mind someone or something you really love and appreciate. Just pick one thing for now. Person, place, a pet, something or someone who makes you smile, someone you truly value. Your life would not be as rich without this thing, or this person, or this place. Feel your appreciation. Stay with it for a minute or two. Imagine it like a gentle waterfall of warm water cascading over you, flowing over your head and across your shoulders, down your chest and back, all the way to your feet. Feel the gentle warmth. It's like a caress. And you are like a little fish swimming in a sea of appreciation. Send that appreciation out. Send it out to the people you love. Send it out to those you're having a hard time loving. Maybe somebody you just can't seem to forgive. Remember, we are not appreciating them for something. We're just sending out the vibration of love and gratitude. We are being centers of healing life. imagine this love and appreciation spreading out across this region and this world. Send from your magnificent heart for one purpose only: to raise the vibration of this town, this region, this country, this world. Send it out, knowing that the power of your appreciation contributes to the well-being of people everywhere. You are an expression of God radiating out into this troubled world. Feel the great well of love and appreciation that you are. Give thanks for this. Give thanks for your brothers and sisters surrounding you here today. We are unified by our intention. We are one body, pulsing with the great energy of appreciation. Together, we are helping to heal and enlighten the world. And so it is. Amen.
I don't need to know where the wind blows, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows.